Mr. Chairman and learned delegates, it gives me great pleasure to be here. First of all, I express my gratitude to CIDC and other organizers who have given a chance to RMCMA to present this paper on a very important subject, that is green and sustainable solution ready-mix concrete. RMCMA is the apex body of the RMC manufacturers in India, headquartered in Mumbai. RMCMA has 11 leading companies in India as its members. They operate about 300 plants throughout the country, and these plants uses the latest technology in production, placement and transportation of concrete. I will cover my talk in 4 stages. First, the importance of concrete in India and its share in the GDP. Second part, I will take the most important, that is the soul of the topic, that is green and sustainable concrete and the efforts made by BIS as well as the industry to make concrete green and sustainable. In third part, I will take it the quality assurance of concrete and third party certification. And the last, the present status of RMC in India, hurdles faced by the industry and the future prospects. Friends, cement was patented in 1824 by Joseph Aspdin in England. The real change came in the field of concrete in 1890 when the design codes were started making for use of reinforced cement concrete in building construction. Thereafter, in 1905, the first code was published for design of various building components with the reinforced concrete. Thereafter, cement and concrete didn't look back, and there was entry of these materials in almost all fields, all sectors of construction. You will be glad to know that in 1932, the Empire Estate building was constructed, which is 400 meter high. The confidence that developed in concrete was enormous, and it has not looked back after that. Other traditional materials like lime, surkhi, timber, steel, bricks, blocks, stone, all remained far behind, and concrete became the prime construction material throughout the world. In India also, there is the same situation, and concrete occupies the prime place as a construction material. Though there are no authentic data that how much concrete is produced in India every year, but it can be computed from the cement that is produced and consumed. In India, nearly 370 million tons of cement is expected to be consumed during the year 2021. It has been estimated that nearly 70% of cement is used in concrete and remaining 30% in repairs and other non-structural applications like plastering. Based on this premise, the concrete consumption in India works out to nearly 800 million meter cube produced from 240 million tons of cement. As per the cost parameters, the cost of the concrete works out to nearly 4 lakh crore, and the GDP present is about 2 crore rupees. Therefore, the share of RMC or concrete is around 2% of the national GDP, and it is around 20% in the construction cost. Now I take the most important topic, that is the soul of this presentation, that is the green and sustainable concrete. Friends, a material is called green if it has positive impact on environment during service life. Now concrete is meeting this requirement because concrete uses about 5 to 10% of environment negative items or materials like fly ash, GGBS and silica fume in its composition. Secondly, these materials do not leach out during the life cycle of the concrete. And on the contrary, by changing the microstructure of concrete and also making the transition zone more stronger, they contribute to the long-term strength of concrete. A sustainable material should have 5 attributes. It should be plenty available for the present use as well as for the future use. It should not have any negative effect on environment. The material should be durable, life cycle should be more, and it should consume least energy during production, and the maintenance should be minimal. All these 5 attributes concrete meets, and therefore it is a sustainable material. I will not go into the jargon of green materials and sustainability, but more important, what has been done for the concrete industry in India to make it green and sustainable. I will discuss those aspects. The IS code 456 was revised in the year 2000, and first time in the code the durability clauses were added. The role of mineral admixtures like fly ash, GGBS and silica fume was highlighted. However, the industry, construction industry and the structural consultants did not agree and did not found it suitable that these materials should be added in concrete. There were a lot of apprehensions which were expressed. The cement and RMC industry took a bold step, invited many foreign experts, did lot of survey work, produced lot of literature, technical papers, and also held so many seminars throughout the country to change this perception. And with these efforts, today the nearly 80 million tons of fly ash is being consumed in cement and concrete, and around 15 million tons of GGBS, against their generation of around 250 million tons of fly ash and around 20 million tons of GGBS. Thus, around 40% of fly ash and 75% of GGBS, what is generated in the country, is used by cement and RMC. I will just give an example that the CPWD did not agree for use of these materials in concrete up to the year 2011. A detailed study was done at Structural Research Institute at Chennai, and thereafter number of meetings were held, and then they issued the circular. The state's PWDs also followed the same. Further, the Bureau of Indian Standards also examined other such materials like copper slag, zinc slag, steel slag, and these have also been added in the code as a part replacement of fine aggregates. Even further, the IS 456 was amended under note number 4, that is, these materials, fly ash or GGBS, can also be added more than 35% and 70% respectively as a fine aggregates. They will not be treated if added more than that as cementitious material, but can be added as fine aggregate. To make concrete green and sustainable, the use of crushed aggregates has been included as an alternate to the river sand in the code 383 and for all types of concretes and applications. Recently, the recycled aggregates have also found place in the concrete code and aggregate code. I feel that today the recycling industry is in a very nascent stage, but after 20 to 30 years, it will be a very important segment of activity where large number of demolished material will be available and has to be processed. The BIS also changed the acceptance criteria, and initially it was characteristic strength plus 1.65 into standard deviation, which has been reduced to characteristic strength plus 3 MPa. It has also contributed to the proper design of concrete mix and for optimization. Apart from these codal requirements and codal changes, the industry has done considerable amount of work in innovating and promoting different types of concretes which are more sustainable and green. I will mention just 4. The high strength concrete. Normally in construction people have been using M20, M30 grade of concrete, while the high strength concrete M60 grade and above now is becoming common. In a study we found that if a building is designed from M20 to M60 grade, the saving in the materials is from 3% to 15%, keeping the reinforcement as same. So we are bundling more strength in the lesser amount of material. That gives a greater sustainability. In addition to that, the self-compacting concrete, which can consume a higher percentage of these environment negative materials like fly ash and GGBS. Normal concrete uses around 5 to 10% of these materials, but self-compacting concrete can go up to 15 to 20%. Another innovative product is a high-volume fly ash concrete, where the fly ash can be used up to 50% and cement can be replaced. Another is pervious concrete, which is very useful for the footpaths and other applications. Now, industry is making all-out efforts to promote these concretes and to increase their share to make concrete greener and sustainable. These efforts will be continuing in the coming years, and now the IS 456 is being revised. I am also a member in the committee. The focus areas are two: the environment and the durability of concrete. And we are scanning all the international literature and all to make it compatible with the international practices. Very soon, many other positive changes will come in the code to make the material more green and sustainable. The concrete can perform only if it is of quality and it is a assurance is given that it will meet all the acceptance criteria as given in different codes. For this purpose, RMCMA has initiated a scheme for the third-party certification of RMC plants, that they should have a capability to produce given grade, given quality of concrete. They should have proper equipment, trained manpower, and the testing facilities, as well as the environmental compatibility of the plant. Now, all these things are coming up, and with the help of QCI, large number of plants throughout the country have been certified, nearly 400 plants. Now, BIS has also come into this field, and they are taking up the certification of the RMC plants. Most of the RMC plants of RMCMA members are third-party certified, and it is the effort of RMCMA to bring all RMC plants in the country under the umbrella of third-party certification. It will ensure proper quality of the concrete and also make it more green and sustainable. Now, the present situation is that, as I mentioned earlier, we produce around 800 million cubic meter of concrete, or about 2000 million tons of concrete per year. The share per citizen is about 1.5 tons, which is only second to water. Now, to produce this volume of the concrete, we require around 12,000 to 15,000 RMC plants, while at present we have only 2,500 to 3,000 plants. Therefore, the RMC penetration is still around 20%, and 80% of the concrete is produced in the country as site mixed concrete. There is a huge scope in the future to have the conversion from site mixed concrete to ready mixed concrete. There are few hurdles in the way, like the RMC is not made mandatory by the various codes and also by the various municipal corporations and other specifications. RMC should be made mandatory. Second is the land. The corporations and all, they should include in their development plan some land park which should be given to the RMC industry at a reasonable rates. Third, we find that there should be different rates for the RMC and the SMC. These two products are different and they should not be treated at par. Fourth is that the restrictions on the movement of the vehicles, that should be relaxed so that the plant operations can continue and they can have a better turnover. Future prospects of RMC are very bright in India, and we hope that it will very fast, the SMC that is being used and will be converted to RMC. Now, I will say that ready-mix concrete, it has been liked by the people and it will continue to grow, and the growth may be 6 to 8% in the mid-term, and it may increase to 10 to 12% in the long run. So RMC is the key for green material, sustainability, economy and durability. In the end, I once again thank you for their patience hearing, and if you have any query, kindly send it to RMCMA mail at info@rmcma.in. rmcmaindia.org, or you can directly talk to me at my phone 97020 21279. Thanking you all, friends.